Hello to everyone that's watching this video, especially to our CCS 102 Professor, Sir Janice. And this is the video for our presentation of our group Prelim Project. And to introduce myself, I am K. Cyril J. Bantad. I am the assigned leader of this group. And today I will be discussing the problem understanding and analysis of our group project. For this project, we thought of making a program that will provide users an effective and efficient way to calculate and track their weight changes. This program that we developed from scratch allows the users to input their height, initial weight, weekly weight from week 1 to 4, calculate their BMI, and monitor the changes to said weights to determine if the user gained or lost weight. This program that we developed is a solution so that it could help users gain insights by calculating all the things that I have mentioned. So, for the key components of our program, we have the following, which is the inputs, processes, and outputs. For the inputs, we ask the user to input the following information, which is the name, sex, age, height in centimeter, initial weight, and their weights for week 1 up to week 4. And then for the process that's gonna be done by the program, these are the first one will be BMI calculations. This will be determined from the user's height and weight. The BMI calculation would have two parts, which is the initial from the initial weight, and then the second one would be the BMI for the final weight, which will be week 4. And then the next calculation will be the weight differences. So the program will be calculating the differences between each week. So it will be from the initial weight up to week 4. The next will be total weight changes, and this one will compare the initial weight of the user up to the week 4, so that we can know how much weight the user gained or lost from when the user first started to the last one. Next will be the BMI comparison, so that we can know the health status of the user, which could be underweight, normal weight, overweight, and obesity. The outputs that will be displayed after all the processes are done will be that first will be what the users input. That will be name, age, sex, height, and the initial weight. And then the next one will be the initial BMI that's calculated, and then its category, which will be, as mentioned, the underweight, normal weight, overweight, and obesity. The next one that's going to be displayed will be weekly weight differences, the one that I mentioned, whether the user gained or lost weight each week. Then next will be the final weight after the week 4 and its corresponding BMI. The last one will be a summary of the total weight change and whether the user gained, lost, or maintained their weight. This is only a simple calculation, which will be like the difference between the initial weight and the week 4 weight. And that's all for the whole layout of our problem and the solution that we've provided, that can provide the users a way to maintain their weight measurements. And that's all. The next one will be a member of mine that's going to explain the algorithm. Thank you for listening.
Hello and good morning. My name is Godoy from CSA, and I will tell you our algorithm in our sample program step by step. Step 1. Start. Step 2. Prompt the user to enter their name. Step 3. Read and store the name in a variable. Step 4. Prompt the user to enter their sex. Step 5. Read and store the sex in a variable. Step 6. Prompt the user to enter their age. Step 7. Read and store the age in a variable. Step 8. Prompt the user to enter their height in centimeters. Step 9. Read and store the height in a variable. Step 10. Prompt the user to enter their initial weight in kilograms. Step 11. Read and store the initial weight in a variable. Step 12. Prompt the user to enter their week 1 weight. Step 13. Read and store the week 1 weight in a variable. Step 14. Prompt the user to enter their week 2 weight. Step 15. Read and store the week 2 weight in a variable. Step 16. Prompt the user to enter their week 3 weight. Step 17. Read and store the week 3 weight in a variable. Step 18. Prompt the user to enter their week 4 weight. Step 19. Read and store the week 4 weight in a variable. Step 20. Convert height from centimeters to meters. Calculate the initial BMI using the formula. Step 21. Check if initial BMI is underweight, heavyweight, or overweight, or obesity. Step 22. Display result. 23. For each week 1 to 4, calculate and store the difference between the weight of the current week and the previous week in a variable. Step 24. Display the result. Step 25. Calculate the week for BMI using the formula. Step 26. Display result. Step 27. Calculate and store the total weight difference after 4 weeks in a variable. Step 28. Display a summary of the user's name, sex, age, height, and initial weight, final weight, initial BMI, status, final BMI, status, and total weight result. Step 29. End.
Hello, my name is Cruz. I will explain the algorithm. The algorithm acts as an individual BMI and weight tracker and takes user on a 4-week journey of tracking the respective health parameters. The process starts by collecting basic details such as name, sex, age, height, and weight. The algorithm computes the starting BMI of the user and categories the findings under the classes of underweight, healthy weight, overweight, or obese according to the established norms. Every week across the 4 weeks, it tracks the weekly weight and presents an exact conclusion on whether the user had gained their weight, lost weight, or maintained it. Finally, it also works out the BMI of the user at the termination of the 4 weeks and demonstrates a detailed summary of changes each user has undergone given their initial BMI and their present dry mass among other specific metrics. In so doing, this algorithm helps make every user in the process feel is taking part in their health course by giving them feedback and even guiding them.
Mr. Janus. I'm Axel Villar and I'm gonna summarize the pseudocode to understand it quickly. This pseudocode is designed to track a person's weight, BMI for over 4 weeks. First is our input collection. Prompts the user to enter their name, sex, age, height, initial height, and weight for each week. Second is the BMI calculation. Convert height from centimeter to meter and calculate the initial BMI using the formula. Determine the initial BMI status whether underweight, normal weight, overweight, obesity based on the calculated BMI. Third is the weekly weight changes. For each week, calculate the weight difference from the previous week. In this way, whether the user lost, gained, or maintained their weight for each week. And finally, display a summary including the username, sex, age, weight, height, initial weight, and final BMI statuses, and the total weight difference for over 4 weeks. And now, Miss Devera will report the flowchart.
This flowchart illustrates the flow of the BMI and weekly weight monitoring Java program. It visualizes the steps of the process including user input, BMI calculation, weight tracking over 4 weeks, and validation of user inputs using a try-catch. First, start using an oval symbol, the program begins execution. Second, parallelogram symbol so the program prompts the user to input their name, age, sex, height, and initial weight. For the try-catch validation, using a decision-making diamond symbol, this will check whether the user inputs are valid. If invalid, like for example, the user input a string in the integer, the program will display an error message and terminate. Next is for converting the height from cm to meter, and for BMI calculation using a rectangle symbol, if the input is valid, the program calculates the initial BMI based on the user's height and initial weight. The result is categorized into underweight, normal weight, overweight, or obesity. For week 1 to 4 weight tracking using a parallelogram for input in rectangle for process, the user inputs their weight at the end of each week and the program calculates their weight, loss, or gain for each week, displaying the result. For final weight comparison using a diamond symbol, after week 4, the program compares the user's final weight with the initial weight and determines whether the user lost weight, gained weight, or stayed the same. For the output of the final result, using a parallelogram symbol, the program displays the user's BMI status after week 4, the final weight, and whether they lost, gained, or maintained their weight over the 4 weeks. And the last, the end. Using an oval symbol, the program terminates after displaying the results.
Good evening. Um, Pag-uusapan natin is all about program. Um, First of all, declaration. Magde-declare tayo dito ng string and nalagay natin dito is variable name, sex, initial BM result, quick BM result, and weight result. And for age, maglalagay tayo dito ng byte. Byte. Pwede din namang int, pero mas magandang byte kasi ang byte is ang range niya ay negative 128 to 127. And maliit lang ang kanyang space. And for float, magde-declare tayo dito ng height, initial BMI, initial weight, week BMI, and weight, and so on, ganun. For input of information, ilalagay natin dito is enter your name, sex, enter your age. Ang enter your age, lalagay natin ng byte, under siya ng byte. Enter your height in centimeter, and enter your initial weight in kilogram. Per kilogram and centimeter, ano siya ng float. And let's proceed to process for initial BMI. Ang BMI dito is ang ano nito ay height divide equal 100. Ito ay kino-convert into centimeter to meters. Initial BMI equal initial weight. Ang una dito is height times height. Then ang magiging ano nito is divide initial weight. For initial BMI result naman is gamit tayo dito ng rational. Yan. Gamit tayo dito ng greater than equal. 18.5 greater than equal initial BMI. And ternary to ano, if na mas malaki siya sa initial BMI ng 18.5, under siya ng underweight, nakalagay dito. Then, pag sa 24.9 greater than equal, mas malaki ang 24.9 is normal weight, under siya ng normal weight. And pag 29.9 greater than equal is under siya ng overweight or obesity. Then, for ano naman, for output ng initial BMI result, lalagay lang tayo dito ng BMI status. And for addition is, para maging readable is initial BMI result. Ito yan. Yung kung anong i-enter nyo dito, magiging ano dito last. Ganun. Magiging ano dito result. And yun lang.
After the process for initial BMI, we are now at the input, process, output for weekly monitoring of weight. First, we ask the user to enter his or her weight after week 1 and store the input into a variable named week 1 weight. And then we will calculate if she or she gain, lost, or maintain his or her weight. To do that, we subtract the week 1 weight to the initial weight and store the value to a variable named after week 1. Then, we will use an if-else statement in the condition if it asks if the value of after week 1 is greater than 0. If it's true, that means he or she lost weight and it will print you lost plus the amount of after week 1 kg. If it's false, it will go to the else if statement and ask if the value of after week 1 is less than 0. If it's true, that means he or she gained weight and it will print you gained plus the value of after week 1 kg. But since the value is less than 0, that means it has negative value. So we need to make it positive before we print it by multiplying the value of after week 1 to negative 2 plus the value of after week 1. And if the statement is false, then it will print your weight remain the same. After that, we will now ask for the week 2. We will just use the same process we use on the week 1 but with different variables. The process continues until week 4. Then, after weekly monitoring, we will now calculate the user final BMI status. We will just use the same process we use in calculating the initial BMI. Then after that, we will now evaluate if the user gain, lose, or maintain his or her weight after 4 weeks by using the same process we use in the weekly monitoring, but this time we will compare the final weight to the initial weight, and then it will print the result based on the condition.
Okay, good evening. Pag-usapan natin is all about program again and for output and maglalagay tayo dito ng name, sex, age, and height. For name, i-add lang natin to para mag-readable. Same lang sa age at sex. Sa age naman is kung ano nilagay mong age dun. And for sa height, ang una natin gagawin dito is times natin yung height sa 100. Then, i-add lang natin tong height plus yung times natin sa 100 plus AM para maging readable. And for sa weight, ganun lang din kung ano result ng weight dun sa sa previous code. And for BMI, ganun lang din. Mag-a-add tayo dito. And same sa week weight and week BMI weight. Ano result? And sana naman sa weight result is ang gawin natin dito is meron tayo ditong ternary and rational or greater than. Meron din tayo ditong less than. And if mas malaki ang weight result, ang lalabas dito is lost weight. And pag kung malaki naman ang mas malaki naman tong 0 is magiging tayo ng weight. And yun na magiging result. Then maglalagay tayo ng try catch if valid yung if invalid yung input. And lalagay natin dito is please rerun the program, ganun. Yun lang.
Dangal greetings, Sir Janus. I am Jairo Ice, Colladilla. I am gonna summarize our testing and debugging. Weekly weight changes. Week 1, weight gain increased to 71 kilo. Gain 1 kilogram. Number 2, week 2, weight decreased to 70 kg, lost 1 kilogram. Week 3, weight remained at 70 kg, no change. Week 4, weight increased to 72 kg, gain 2 kilograms. Final BMI status. After 4 weeks, Steve's weight is 72 kilograms, which changes his BMI status to overweight. Summary. Over the course of 4 weeks, Steve experienced fluctuations in his weight, ultimately gaining a total of 2 kilograms. This weight gain resulted in a change in his BMI status from normal weight to overweight.
Dangal greetings, Sir Janus. I am Aaron Cruzante, and I will summarize the weekly monitoring part of the program. At the start, the program prompts the user to enter the initial weight. The program takes the user's weight for week 1 as input and stores it in the week 1 weight variable. Same process happened for weeks 2, 3, and 4. The program calculates the initial and current weight each week to determine if the user gained or lost weight. After that, the program now prints the result telling if they gain, lost, or maintain the weight.